Good morning, Culers. Oh, wrong button there. Good morning, Culers. It is time to wake up in Barca. Boy, rough start right off the bat. Get that out of the way. Okay, shake it off. Live Barcelona news. It's going to be a rough one, folks. All right, if you see my eye, look at it. We'll talk about it. You see that crap? We'll talk about it. Today's going to be a little bit of a rough one for me, friends. All right, I'm going to need your support on this one. Wake up in Barca, live Barcelona news. We're going to go over a few different things. We're going to talk about the El Clasico Supercopa. Disappointing results, but we got a lot to look forward to as Culers, so we'll talk about that. For those of you that didn't see the match review, we'll briefly go over the good, the bad, and the Barca. We seemingly can't go a day without Serginho Dest transfer rumors, so of course we'll dive into Twitter. We'll get caught up on all the transfer rumors. And then at the end of the episode today, I want to jump over to a potential lineup now that we have all of our players back and healthy, with the exception of Goatweight, Roberto, and Eric for a little bit here. But for the most part, especially in the attack, we have a fully fit squad. So I want to go over who we might be selecting in a potential starting 11 once we are fully up and running. We'll talk about all that and more in today's episode of Wake Up in Barca. But before we get into anything, I want to invite you to join the Stash Squad. I know we got some new friendly faces here. We got some folks joining us after my appearance on the Barca Universal channel. So I just want to invite all of you to subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. We are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday doing live Barcelona news. And then we are also here for the live Barcelona matches. Every time Barcelona hits the pitch, I'm doing the live commentary. You all get to participate in the chat with Culers from around the world as we support the Blaugrana. Before we get into any of the news from today, let's go ahead and kick things off the right way, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in to the undefeated Mustache John.
All right. Intro is turned off. Good morning, everybody. We are going to start by going over the Supercopa match results. We are going to talk about transfer rumors. We're going to talk about a potential starting 11. I'm going to get caught up on the chat here, but I know there's a couple things people want to talk about, and there's something that I got to get off my chest. All right, so folks, so I mentioned at the end of the live stream during the Supercopa that I had I'm going to try not to cry and say this, that I had a interview lined up with somebody that, sorry, I'm just closing some windows because I'm going to open this up. Give me a second here. I had an interview lined up with somebody that was of pretty notable status. And that interview happened. It went really well. It was with Sam Marsden of ESPN. Problem is, folks, that I did not do my due diligence of testing the setup prior to. And so while I have a recording of the interview, I don't have any audio from Sam. And so what was a wonderful 20-minute conversation between me and ESPN analyst Sam Marsden will never be heard by anybody. So I will just apologize to the undefeated community. I apologize to Sam for wasting his time. I'll just quickly show you guys. It's real. All right. I'll give you some desktop audio here. I'll just give you a quick second here of what happened. So, all right, folks, as promised, we've got Sam Marsden on the channel. For those that are unfamiliar, Sam, why don't you introduce yourself, tell the Stash Squad here a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Stash Squad. Yes, I'm Sam Marsden, originally from the UK, but I live in Barcelona now for almost a decade, coming up for that 10-year anniversary. So do a test.
Idiot. I'm such an idiot. I'm just going to let this play for a minute and vent about how much of an idiot I am. So I was up late the night before. I prioritized getting the match review and the reaction video out. It got late. I was tired. Instead of doing my due diligence and checking all the virtual wiring,
Very
making
cool,
sure
very
I
cool.
had
Well,
all
again,
the
I
boxes
appreciate you
checked.
taking
some time to be on the channel.
I didn't.
I know you watched
got
the
lazy
match
yesterday.
Supercopa
and
semifinal. Before we get into some structured
this
questions,
is what
here,
happens.
what are
You
your
interview
overall
an
thoughts? What's
ESPN
your
analyst
takeaway from that match?
and you look like a complete
idiot. I had to message him on Twitter today and just say, Sam, I humbly apologize. I screwed it up. I'll try to do better next time. Hopefully, he's not like, well, that was a complete waste of my time. I'll never show up on that kid's channel again. He was doing me a complete favor. This channel is still quite small and growing, and so he was just doing me a favor, and that's what I did. That's what I did, friends. So, again, humbly apologize. There will not be a Sam Marsden interview here on the channel. This hurt, you guys. This really hurt. I know that this was not like my big break or anything, but embarrassing nonetheless. So I could use some love today, especially because this also happened. So that is fluke accident from jiu-jitsu. Wasn't even doing any live action. I was literally just being the dummy, basically, while our coach demonstrated the move that we were going to be working on. And the move is not a dangerous move. It literally was just in the transition. The outside of his ankle coming up over my head clipped my eye. Fluke accident. Would never happen again in a million times stepping on the mat. But just almost immediate blood coming out. That led me to almost pass out because I don't do so well with blood. So I'm sitting there, eye bleeding, feeling woozy, almost passing out. Didn't exactly look like a tough guy in front of all the all the folks that I trained jiu-jitsu with. There goes my MMA career. Imagine I step into a cage to fight somebody. I punch them in the nose. They start bleeding, and I pass out because I can't take the blood. So, yeah, I'm just I'm gonna shake this off. We're gonna have a wonderful show today. We are gonna have a wonderful show today. But you guys are seeing a little bit of the human side of me right now. I'm incredibly disappointed that I didn't get it right for the Sam Marsden interview. My eye hurts. That's kind of where my head's at today. So I'm gonna get caught up on the chat here, and then we're gonna flip over the coin. We're gonna start with Supercopa. We'll get into the good, the bad, the Barca. We'll do that briefly. We'll talk transfer rumors. We'll do all that stuff. But let me get caught up on the chat. I need some positive energy here. I need a little pick me up. Actually, I'm gonna be leaning on you all today a little bit more than I typically do. So let me get caught up on the chat here. Ayush, I know I did not update the slideshow yet. Ayush is the first and only one so far to send me some pictures for the slideshow. Before Wake Up in Barca and before the live matches and at halftime, I like to play a little slideshow, and I want you all to be a part of it. The undefeated community here is very important to me. I want you all to be able to show your bright smiling faces as well. So if you want to send me a picture wearing a Barca kit or holding up a sign, just send it to any of my social media accounts down here, at the Undefeated Mustache John on Instagram, at the Undefeated MJ on Twitter and TikTok. Send it to me on there, but make sure you put what your YouTube handle is so that I can tag you in the photos as well. And I will get that updated here shortly, I promise. I appreciate you sending those in. Who else is with us here? Kudis, how we doing, says. Kudis says, apparently John didn't finish his honey-do list. I knew someone was going to go there. I knew someone was going to go there for sure. Prashant, how we doing? Asked, did the special interview get released, or did I miss it? Well, you got your explanation for that one, Prashant. I'm glad you're here with us, buddy. Ovi, good morning. Frank Maloba says we're back. We're getting there, and we are going to dive in to some positive things. There's lots of good takeaways from the El Clasico match. Lots of positive things for Barcelona right now, and that's what we are going to turn to. Kudos also says it's clear it was a prank by the dirty Man U fan Kyle Cash. Can't blame anybody for this one, man. It's 100% on me. I completely messed up. I'm just gutted by it. Absolutely gutted by it. Adarsh, new subscriber. Welcome, sir. Glad you found us. Welcome to the community. Prashant says, it's okay, John. Maybe you can tell us about the convo. We'll make sure we get it right the next time. I will tell you a little bit about the conversation, actually. Just not yet, because I promise if I start talking about it, I'm going to cry, and I refuse to cry on live stream. So I will talk about the Sam Marsden interview. What day is today? Friday? Maybe we'll do a weekend episode and talk about it, but more than likely, Monday morning, we'll talk about the ruined Sam Marsden interview. Or maybe I'll release a video. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do the ruined Sam Marsden interview where I will... I'll do like a voiceover for some of the things that he was saying. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. I appreciate that. Kuda says, bright side, it wasn't a winning interview. Goldfish memories for losses. Absolutely. Goldfish memory indeed. Got to be a goldfish. Shake it off. I'm going to put my hair back too. Hang on. Just not feeling the hair down right now too. Prasad says, on the positive side, that was a wonderful live stream on El Clasico day. Lots of new people coming in and nice banter. That was, I think, my most successful stream. I'll go back and look at some of the numbers. But yeah, we got I think 25 new people joined from the stream. We got about 150 new subscribers since the Barca Universal interview. So I know we got a lot of folks here. Bajo, give me some love from Mexico. I appreciate you, brother. I really do. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. I really needed this. I really needed this, to be honest. I was dreading. I did not want to go to bed last night. I need to get my hair cut. I did not want to go to bed last night because I didn't want today to begin, because I knew that it was going to have to start with me acknowledging that I screwed up that interview. So, listen, we're going to have growing pains on this channel. It's not the first mistake that I've made. Perhaps the biggest. No, that's not true. The biggest mistake I ever made was accidentally having broadcast audio come through my live stream, and so I got a copyright strike. That was the biggest. Okay, I'm starting to feel better. Levi says Mexico versus USA got more. So for the live watch along, I think that was my biggest one. No, you're right. At the end of last spring, for some reason, I don't know how, but we got put on the suggested videos for Barcelona's YouTube page. And so at one point, we had 300 people watching the match. That was, I think, our biggest one. Either way, let's talk about that match, okay? I think that's something that we could all get into. Give me 1 second here, make sure I have my screen ready. Because I wasn't fully planning on doing this, but then I said, you know what? Not everybody saw my post-match analysis, and so if not everybody saw it, we might as well go ahead and talk about it. So this is where we go over the good, the bad, and the Barca. Ayush, we do need a stash map. We need a stash map desperately. I'm going to put it right here. It's on the short list, I promise. I made a nice little to-do list over break. I got through a lot of it, but not all of it. So we are going to talk the good, the bad, and the Barca. We'll do this briefly. I want to get your all's thoughts on it. Rex says, hey, champ, my son shaved his beard and left an undefeated mustache like you. Awesome. I hope I was the inspiration for that. If not, that's okay. Tell your son, welcome to the Stash Squad, my friend. The stash map is going to be a map with pins dictating or showing, I should say, where we have Stash Squad members from around the world, because it's just very interesting to me. We got folks from all over the world, so I want to start actually tracking that, and it's something that we can share. Okay, anyway, enough teasing you all. The good, the bad, and the Barca. There was a lot of things that were good about this match, one of them being Luke de Jong. He continues to perform. He's playing up to and past his potential. It's very similar to a goat weight situation where there's limited expectations, but when you exceed those expectations, the excitement is still there. I mentioned in the video, it's also good news that we're getting our squad back from illness and injury. We're going to have a fit, healthy starting 11 for the first time ever this season in our next La Liga match. Or is it Copa del Rey? I think we actually have Copa del Rey up next. before we hop off today, we'll take a look at the schedule and, go over what's next. Now, there were some comments I saw debating what would be in the red box, the bad box today. I went with Dembele. First half, I think his effort was tremendous. I even mentioned that this is probably that was probably Dembele's best defensive effort that we had seen so far. Problem was, didn't last. As the match went on, Dembele started hiding in the shadows. By the time Ansu and Pedri were on the pitch, Dembele was pretty uninvolved, and he stopped getting back defensively. It's not 100% his fault, but in I think it was the second goal, it was the second goal. He didn't come back and mark Carvajal on the back post. And on the third goal, he gave it up. Hey, Wen Qualto, welcome to the community, my friend. Thanks for joining us. But as I was saying, Dembele on the third goal gives the ball up and then just throws his hands in the air. Doesn't go, oh, shoot, I gave the ball up. I better get that back for the team. That's the difference. He wants to get Lionel Messi type salary. Well, when Messi would lose the ball, he was the number one person to track back and try to win it. You just didn't get that. You just didn't get that from Dembele. Levi says we should have won. Look at the stats. We'll jump over and look at the stats here in just a minute. I want to get back to some good news here. The Barca. Pedri, the young Spaniard, making his return to the squad, immediately making an impact. I cannot wait to see the young Gavi and Pedri in our starting midfield. We're going to go over potential lineups. We're going to debate about it. But, folks, that is the future. I know Nico has something to say about that. But for me, that's our midfield three. De Jong in that defensive mid role and has the pace to go sideline to sideline. That leaves Pedri and Gavi with the freedom to push up even further. I digress. Pedri's back. Very excited. And that leaves a pretty obvious mustache man of the match. It is the Prince of Barcelona, Ansu Fati, coming off a little bit later than the rest of the substitutes. Didn't come on at halftime, came on around, 60th minute, something like that. Scores what was a game-tying goal at the time. Didn't hold up, but what a tremendous performance from Ansu Fati, from Pedri, from Luke de Jong. I am very excited for this team. So let me know in the chat here what you think about the good, the bad, the Barca, and the mustache man of the match, Ansu Fati. I'll get your thoughts, and then we'll move on to some quick transfer rumors, and then maybe take a look at what Barcelona's starting 11 should be moving forward. Let's see here. Georgie Damper says we need to stop playing Boosie 90 minutes. Agreed. It's time that we start those rotations. I'm not saying that Boosie can never play again. I'm not saying Boosie doesn't have his place on this team. I'm saying the De Jong era needs to begin. It just needs to happen. We've shown that De Jong is not an attacking midfield player. As soon as De Jong gets in the attacking box, he looks uncomfortable. He's looking for someone to take the ball from him. Like, please, someone take this and do something with it because I don't know what I'm doing. So I want De Jong in that defensive mid role, covering sideline to sideline with his tremendous pace, his dribbling ability, the way that he'll be able to get himself out of danger. Mwah. I want to see more of that. Ayu says switch Fati and Pedri. Here's why I went the way that I did. Ansu had less time on the pitch and was able to put one in the back of the net. Pedri was more influential overall. That's why he gets the Barca. But for me, man of the match, more often than not, you're going to have to either put one in the back of the net or be responsible for creating those chances. So tremendous performance from Pedri. Loved what I saw, but not quite enough for the mustache man of the match. Kuda says the countered counters might be bad. Well, that's been the big problem. A lot of people were saying that Busquets should have been in that red box down there because of his inability at this point to track back defensively. He has to sit so deep and not push forward because as soon as we lose the ball, he has a snowball's chance in you-know-where of getting back. So I love Busquets. I love him to death. He's an absolute legend of the club. And I'm not saying that we sell him. I'm not saying that by any means. I'm just saying that the Frankie de Jong era needs to begin. That's all we're saying here, folks. That's all we're saying. All right. Other thoughts before we jump over and take a look at Dest, who is trending on Twitter right now. Pancho says, thought I was too hard on Dembele. Feared him. I feared him the most from a Madrid perspective. Fair, and I can see your point on that. And I will admit to this. I am picking on Dembele a little bit. And it's because he's put those standards, he's put those expectations on himself. If he was not in this contract dispute where he's asking for the moon, then I wouldn't have the same expectations of him, if that makes sense. So I hear you. I definitely hear you. And I am being a little bit hard on him knowingly and mindfully. Referee says it's time to see more FDG, Pedri, and Gavi more. Frankie. Frankie de Jong, absolutely. Shoaib says this Barca can be absolute beasts in the future if they live up to their potential. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Ayer says no one can become the octopus that Boosie is. On the ball, listen, if you had to play soccer in a telephone booth, I'd pick Busquets. He's my number one player. All right. If we're doing 5-a-side, I pick Busquets. He's my number one player. But we're not. It's a big, wide open pitch that we play on. And there's too many gaps that need to be covered if we have Busquets in that midfield. Just saying. Prajwal says De Jong defensively weak. Not true. I got to disagree with you on that one. I think most people would disagree with you there. You Stupid says Memphis has dropped recently because his position is not center forward. He's actually a winger, believe it or not, or he plays behind the strikers. Agreed. He actually looked a lot better once we threw through the kitchen sink onto the pitch and had more attackers on, and Memphis was kind of playing in a false 9 role with players in front of him. He looked a little bit more impactful there. You Stupid says, Mustache, you can say not sell Boosie. I sell him to the MLS. Listen, if he wants to come and play in Cincinnati, I'll take him. I'll watch him every week. That's fine. What else we got here? What else? Klops and Robbers. Good morning, sir. It's okay if you're late. Sometimes we hit that snooze button a couple more times than we intended to. It happens. Georgie says, Frankie had Modric in his pocket when he played with Ajax. Agreed. Frankie's, when he is in the center defensive mid position, that is where he gets the shine. His pace, his ability on the ball, his passing, his ability to read the game, all starts to flourish. All right, let's jump over and take a look at Dest trending on Twitter. Rashad Rahman, very trusted, reliable resource, says Serginho Dest has ruled out leaving Barcelona this month. He is only focused on helping the team despite interest from many clubs. Good. I love to hear it. What you won't be hearing from my Sam Marston interview, because I ruined it like an idiot, screwed it up. I'm so stupid. I can't believe I screwed that up. Idiot. Anyway, what you won't be hearing him say is that he actually thinks Serginho Dest is going to be out the door. There's a lot of rumors. Chelsea, Bayern Munich, some other clubs still looking at him. I say if those top clubs in Europe are looking at Serginho Dest and saying, we'll take him, then what is our rush? We're over the hump in terms of the drama around getting players registered financially. So I think we just show a little bit of patience, calm down a little bit. He can play on the right side. He can play on the left side, as we saw when he filled in for Jordi Alba. He was tremendous. That was some of the best football that we saw from Dest. It's the inconsistency. That's really the biggest problem. He loses confidence. There's times when he seems completely lost on the pitch. I will admit that. And there were matches like when he had to go up against Alphonso Davies when we played Bayern Munich. He didn't look good. He didn't. But tell me a wingback, left side or right side, that has the potential that he has, that is available for 20 million or less, that we'd be willing to bring in. That's a short list. That's a very short list. You're going to mention the right back at Ajax. Well, here's the problem, folks. That same right back, Mazraoui or whatever his name is, was at Ajax when Dest was there. He got injured. Dest came in. Dest took his starting role. Dest went to Barcelona, and now we're back to looking at the Ajax right back. Doesn't make any sense, folks. All right. Danny Alves, love him to death, my favorite right back of all time, clearly doesn't have the wheels anymore. He was getting torched against Vinny Jr. Throw Dest out there. Let him ride it out. Let him take those hard lumps. Let him go through those learning curves. He'll be okay. We have time. Worst case scenario, loan him out for the rest of the year. And that's worst case scenario. Loan him out to somewhere that's going to play him 90 minutes every week. We are going into World Cup next year. So most players should be looking to get in a starting 11. Ultimately, because of his versatility, because of his potential, because of the fact that top clubs are still willing to pay more than what we paid for him, the value is still there. The potential is still there. I think we give Dest a little bit of time to settle in at Barcelona. I know he's had a couple of years, year and a half now, but he's got Dani Alves there as a mentor. The Xavi era has just begun. He was injured at the beginning of it. So give him a little bit of time to get the rust off, shake off the injury woes, get used to the Xavi tactics, get his head right, and Dest is going to be just fine at Barcelona. I feel good about it. How do you guys feel about that? Let me get one-word answers here. Should Barcelona sell Dest either in January or the summer? Yes or no? I want to get your answers. Should Barcelona sell Dest? That is the question for the chat. I want to see all the yes or no's going. Eventually, I'm going to figure out doing polls. I tried it a couple times and never quite got it right. So we're going to see. We got no's. We got keep them. Good. Keep it going. I want to hear your thoughts. Yes or no, should we keep Serginho Dest? Or I'm sorry, should we sell Serginho Dest? That is the question. That's how we're phrasing it. Should we sell Serginho Dest? Everybody so far is saying no. You Stupid says keep him. Prashant says keep him. Jamel says keep him. Shoaib says keep him. Even Levi says keep him. Guys, I got to tell you something. If Levi says keep him, we're keeping him. Done deal. If Levi says keep him, we keep him. All right? If Levi has not lost faith in a player, then none of you have any excuse to lose your faith in a player. That's so good. Referee, I see that comment. I don't want to say it out loud just because YouTube algorithm, but I hear you, and I think you have a fair point there, referee. Klopp says, imagine Alphonso Davies at Barca. I would go nuts if we had Dest on one side and Alphonso Davies on the other. Get out of here, bro. Looks like everybody's saying give him a chance. Atomic Rocks, You Stupid, Adarsh, Takir, everybody's saying keep him. Yadu, hello. Very cool. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one feeling that way, and we can move on. That makes me feel a little bit better about presenting what I think is going to be a starting 11 for Barcelona moving forward. Let me make one quick update here because I had a minor little change of heart. So let me do this, and we're gonna wrap up today by going over what I hope is going to be Xavi's starting 11 moving forward. Now that we got healthy players, let's jump over to screen number 2 here. What do you think about this, folks? As our base starting 11, Memphis on the left wing, Ansu starting at striker, Ferran Torres on the right wing, a starting midfield of Pedri, Gavi, and De Jong in that center defensive mid role, and then Jordi Alba, Piqué, Araujo, and yes to Dest. Is that a hashtag now? Are we starting that new hashtag? Hashtag yes to Dest. I want to see him out there. Dani Alves, I love you. I love you to death. But I think we all saw that the wheels are gone. The wheels are gone. This isn't 2014 anymore. And that's okay. That's totally okay. I love Dani Alves. But particularly up against some of the pacier wingers, we got to see Serginho Dest out there. Has to happen. And do the same thing that we saw against Real Madrid. Have Araujo play on the right-hand side. So if and when Serginho Dest makes a mistake, gets caught up the pitch, Araujo can back him, just like he did for Dani Alves. And he will have less work than what he had to do in El Clasico covering for Dani. I can promise you that. For me, here, let me get back to the front three. For me, the reason why I went Memphis over Dembele is because I have completely lost faith in Dembele's ability to stay mentally tough for 90 minutes. He faded in and out of that match against El Clasico. There's sparks, there's flashes, but it's not consistent. Yes, I don't know if he technically got the assist. He should have gotten the assist for the Luke de Jong goal that was a deflection in. He created that opportunity, I should say. But he's not doing enough. And as I said earlier, maybe I'm picking on him a little bit. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh, but it's because of his demands. He is setting the expectation for himself way too high. If he just would sign a reasonable contract, then we would have no problems. Just sign a reasonable contract. Bring down those expectations. Understand that you're never going to be number one, Dembele. If it's not Haaland coming in this summer, then it's Ansu Fati. It's Pedri. It's Gavi. Dembele, you're not going to be number one. It's not going to happen. This isn't your team. You need to understand that, Dembele. Okay? Let that sink in. This isn't your team. So you're not going to get paid Ballon d'Or type prices. It just won't happen. In fact, I don't think you're even in the starting 11. I think Dembele comes off the bench. I think he rotates in, but isn't the regular go-to starter. I think, as it was mentioned in the chat earlier, Memphis gets the preference on the left-hand side, which is his preferred position. Memphis is a playmaker. He's not a guy that plays with his back to goal. He's not a pure number 9 striker. He is a playmaker who likes to start from the left-hand side. So let him do that. Play it to Memphis. Let Ansu Fati make the run in behind, either to the left corner or sneak in on goal. Whatever you want to do there. Have Pedri as that outlet inside. Have Jordi Alba overlap on the left-hand side. But let Memphis create a little bit there. Frankie de Jong in the midfield defensively means that we can push Pedri and Gavi up a little bit more than we would with Busquets, because Frankie has that sideline-to-sideline pace where he can cover the counterattacks. When we lose the ball, particularly in the midfield when we're pressed forward, it is lightning-fast counterattacks against the top European teams. And I love Boosie, but he doesn't cover it. So it's time to see de Jong. We already talked about Dest. Ter Stegen also gets his criticism, but find me a better keeper and we'll talk. Until then, it's Ter Stegen. So that's my starting 11. When everybody's fit, healthy, ready to go, Memphis, Ansu, Torres, Pedri, Gavi, de Jong, Alba, Piqué, Araujo, Dest, and Ter Stegen. Of course, I want to know your thoughts. So let me know in the chat, or if you're watching this on replay, let me know down in the comments what you would change, what you think Xavi would maybe change for my predicted starting 11 moving forward now that we have a healthy squad for 2022. Let's go, my friends. Yes to Dest. Keep Dest. I love it. Ayer says, I thought Pedri would need time to get well coming on after a long time, but proved me wrong. Me too. Absolutely, me too. You Stupid says, I would put Memphis at striker, but he would play deeper. Memphis would and will take long-range shots. I agree. I think, listen, between Memphis, Ansu, Torres, Dembele, whoever's up there, they can be very fluid with where they play on the pitch. You Stupid says, thank you, Mustache. Took the words right out of my mind. I'm trying here, trying to speak the truth. Yadu says, hi, John. My name is Yadu, pronounced Yedu. Okay, and not Yadu. You say it funny. Sorry. I'll do that from time to time. If I mispronounced anybody's name like Yedu did just there, by all means, correct me. I don't mind being corrected. Us Americans, sometimes we get the words wrong. Once a word comes over into the English language, we kind of Americanize it, and we say it the way that we want to say it. So, my apologies, Yedu. Excuse me. Anyway, what else? What are your thoughts, folks? Prashant says, what about Zhukla? Thought he was good. Absolutely. For me, Zhukla gets playing time over Abde, over Akamach. He's inching his way into, honestly, being more productive than Dembele. Ayer says, Umtiti to be loaned. I did see that as well. Ayush sent me a message this morning, but there's been several reports that Umtiti just wants to play football. He says, I'll take a pay cut, I'll defer my wages, whatever I got to do. I want to ultimately stay at Barcelona, but I want to play football. So, very cool, very cool. What else we got here? I'm seeing lots of keep Dest, lots of yes to Dest. Only Juan says, are we missing anybody else? Goatweight, Sergio Roberto, and Eric are three that are currently still working out some injuries. But those three, I think, are all going to be back here pretty soon. KN1 asks, can we win the Europa? If we can get past Napoli, then we actually have a really good chance. Napoli is one of the toughest opponents in Europa League. I don't think it's going to be a priority for Barcelona, particularly now that we're playing well and we got a shot to crack into that top 3 again in La Liga. Do we have a chance with the squad and what we got going on right now? Yes, we do have a chance, but we'll see. I was going to say I'm not going to get my hopes up, but I am. You guys know that. I'm definitely going to get my hopes up. We'll see. We will wait and see. I will say it's a very bright future. The future is coming a lot sooner than we thought here at Barcelona. I am very excited about that. Caught up on some other things here. Takir says, I don't think Memphis is starting this team with Luke's form and Xavi liking... So, fair point. Luke de Jong, until he stops scoring, is going to be starting. I should have mentioned that before ending it there. But, yeah, Luke de Jong is going to start until he stops scoring. That's absolutely happening. I can guarantee it. Before we jump off here, I want to take a look at what's up next. I know we disappointingly won't be playing in the Supercopa final this Sunday, but we will be playing Copa del Rey action. So we don't have anything going on for, yikes, is that a week? Jump over here. Yeah, folks, we don't have anything going on fixture-wise for a week, but we've got a big one when we return. Copa del Rey, Thursday, January 20th. For my time zone, that's going to be 3:30 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time, so convert that for your time zone. Athletic Club is going to be a tough opponent. We'll be doing a live watch-along for that match. We'll do a little pregame show going over the lineups and predictions. But before we get to that, we're going to have plenty of episodes of Wake Up and Barca. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Turn on notifications. If you're watching this and you're enjoying it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It really does help the YouTube algorithm in terms of helping the channel get discovered, helping the community grow. We are a collection of Culers from around the world coming together for Wake Up in Barca every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, coming together for the live matches, cheering on the Blaugrana, having some good conversation, and continuing to build out the undefeated community. My friends, thank you so much for tuning in and taking a ride. I'll see y'all next time. Mwah.